Welcome, friends. Today we're diving into some of Michael Jordan's most iconic moments of humiliation. From eyes-closed free throws to unforgettable blocks and daring challenges. But before we get started, if you enjoy our content and want to see more, be sure to smash that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Your support means the world to us. Let's get into it. Let's start with the eyes-closed free throw. One of the most iconic and cocky moments of Jordan's career occurred during a regular season game against the Denver Nuggets in 1991. In a show of over-the-top confidence, Jordan stood at the free throw line, exchanged a few words with rookie Dikembe Matumbo, and proceeded to shoot the free throw with his eyes closed. The ball went cleanly into the basket as Jordan turned to Matumbo with a satisfied smile. This act not only showcased his skill, but also his ability to play with the minds of his opponents, imposing his psychological dominance in addition to his physical talent. We continue the list with the humiliation of Dikembe Mutombo. Dikembe Mutombo, one of the most feared defenders in the NBA, known for his shot-blocking ability, also suffered humiliation at the hands of Jordan. In a playoff game, Matumbo had been speaking in the press about how Jordan had never managed to dunk on him. Jordan took this as a personal challenge. At a crucial moment in the game, Jordan drove to the basket, leapt over Matumbo, and dunked the ball hard. After the dunk, Jordan made Matumbo's signature finger-waving gesture, a taunt that made it clear who dominated on the court. This act not only demonstrated Jordan's athletic ability, but also his ability to respond to challenges and humiliate those who doubted him. Next up is Jordan and the humiliation of the conceited Reggie Miller. A significant episode in Michael Jordan's career occurred during a regular season game against the Indiana Pacers, when Reggie Miller, known for his psychological game and his ability to shoot three-pointers, made the mistake of disrespecting Jordan. In that game, Jordan scored 4 points, while Miller scored 12. Miller provoked Jordan after the game, implying that Jordan was not as great as everyone thought. Instead of intimidating him, Miller only managed to ignite the competitive fire within Jordan. In the next game, Jordan scored 41 points against Miller's 10. Obviously, Reggie kept his mouth shut, and Michael, as always, let his performance on the court do the talking. In fourth spot, we have the shot against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Before he cemented himself as the greatest of all time, Jordan was already building his legacy of greatness. On May 7, 1989, in the first playoff game against the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Bulls were down by 1 point, with just 3 seconds left on the clock. Jordan received the ball, dribbled to the right, and with Craig Ello in his face, launched a jump shot that swished through the net at the last second. The shot not only eliminated the Cavaliers from the playoffs, but also symbolized Jordan's ability to perform under pressure, leaving Ello crumpled to the floor, a moment repeated countless times in NBA highlights. Now, we'll have a look at the humiliation of Alonzo Mourning. Alonzo Mourning, another NBA giant, also experienced Jordan's power. Jordan drove to the basket, challenging Mourning, who was known for his formidable defense. Jordan rose and, with unrelenting strength and determination, dunked the ball over Mourning. This moment not only demonstrated Jordan's ability to outplay the league's best defenders, but also left Mourning a helpless spectator to Jordan's magnificence. Moving on to the next one, of course, we have the Corey Benjamin Challenge. In 1999, Corey Benjamin, a young player for the Chicago Bulls, declared that he could beat Michael Jordan one-on-one. Despite being retired, Jordan accepted the challenge and visited a Bulls training session. Facing Benjamin, Jordan showcased his undying competitiveness and skill, easily dominating the young player. This episode is a reminder that even off the court, Jordan's legacy and prowess are undeniable. Anyone who challenges Jordan must be prepared to face the legend at full force. And now we have Michael Jordan, O.J. Mayo, and an epic humiliation on one of their campuses. At the beginning of the game, Michael, the oldest player on the opposing team, asked to guard O.J. Mayo, not because he was the top scorer, but because he was the youngest. Mayo took this as a sign of disrespect and was determined to prove himself. Motivated by Michael's attitude, the shooting guard began scoring freely and taunting the former Bulls player. If there's something that always motivated Jordan, It's trash talk. And when someone used it against him, he exploded. Exactly that happened on that campus. He looked at everyone and said, "Let me take care of this. I'm going to need you all to leave and stop filming." Those words were the spark that ignited the fire. And from that moment on, Mayo wished he had never been born. Jump shots, defense, and many insults were the crucible that Jordan applied to the daring OJ. "You better scream for your mom. You better scream for your mom," Jordan taunted, his eyes blazing with intensity. Point by point, blow by blow, it was a slow and devastating defeat. Finally, Michael ended Mayo's agony and finished the game, but not before telling him, "You may be the best in high school, but I am the greatest in history." We are nearly at the end of this video, so let's have a look at the dunk on Ewing and the most losing player against Jordan. Jordan's dunk on Ewing occurred during the first round of the 1991 NBA playoffs, in a matchup between the Chicago Bulls and the New York Knicks. This series was crucial for the Bulls, as they aimed to finally overcome the barrier that had prevented them from advancing beyond the first rounds in previous years. Since the Chicago Bulls and New York Knicks share the Eastern Conference, Patrick Ewing is one of the two players who faced Michael Jordan the most times, the other being Joe Dumars, with 70 duels. Their first encounter was on November 1st, 1986, in His Majesty's second year in the NBA. From there, they faced off 42 more times, until December 21st, 2001, when they saw each other for the last time, with Jordan playing for the Washington Wizards and Ewing for the Orlando Magic. The final tally, 49-21 in favor of Jordan. In the playoffs, things were not very different, and perhaps one of Patrick's biggest nightmares to this day is Michael Jordan. The New Yorkers never managed to stop Jordan's talent, and in the 19 playoff games they shared, the Bulls legend dominated with 19 wins and just 8 losses. Over 5 postseason series, MJ averaged 33.1 points, 6.4 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2.1 steals per game. Of the 5 times they faced off in the playoffs, Chicago ended up as champions in 4. And lastly, the Wizards era and Ron Mercer's save. One of the most humiliating moments in Jordan's career occurred during his time with the Washington Wizards. After his second retirement in 1999, Jordan returned to the NBA in 2001 to play 2 seasons with the Wizards. Although he had several highlights, he also experienced some of the most difficult moments of his career. This particular moment was humiliating because Jordan executed it with spectacular ease, leaving Ron Mercer looking like a child, even though Jordan was nearing the end of his career. Michael Jordan is not only remembered for his points, titles, and MVP awards, he is also celebrated for those moments when he humiliated his opponents in ways that have become legendary. From free throws with his eyes closed to blocking young and arrogant players, each of these moments has contributed to Jordan's mythology. These events not only highlight his skill and competitiveness, but also his ability to leave a lasting impression on the collective memory of basketball. As we look back on these moments, we not only appreciate Jordan's greatness, but also how he redefined what it means to be the best on the court. We want to hear from you. Which plays did you already know about, and which ones surprised you? Which humiliation was the best? Share your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Remember, our channel is all about celebrating the legends of the game and the incredible stories behind them. Stay tuned for more great content, and as always, keep the passion for sports alive. See you in the next video.